In this final part of the tutorial, we're going to run the app for the first time and then refine the design. This is important because we all want to create apps that are visually appealing. If the app doesn't look very good, then why would we want to use it? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run it and see how it works and what it looks like, and then we're going to change the color scheme and the text scheme just to make the app look nicer in general. Welcome back. Now we've fully created our app, we've implemented all functionality, and it should be working just fine, so it's time to run it. If we go into our solutions bar here, we will right click on the tip calculator, android.droid, we'll scroll down to run with, and we'll select the Nexus S KitKat API 19. So if we click on that, it will compile the code and open up your app in this little simulator here. So this is pretty much exactly what our layout design was like. So let's go ahead and play around with it. I don't want that keyboard up there. So here I'm just going to enter a meal cost. Let's say it costs us $55.55. And we want to leave an 18% tip. So we'll scroll that down, we'll click calculate final cost, and there we go, we get $65.55, which is indeed $55.55 times 1.18, or the cost of the meal with an 18% tip. However, this doesn't look that good, it's not that appealing, and the final text is tiny. So let's go ahead and modify it. We'll make it look a little prettier. So we'll go ahead and minimize that for now, and in the upper left corner of the screen we have the big stop button. We're going to stop running it because we no longer need it running. Now to modify the appearance, we'll have to go back into the main.axml, and now let's change the appearance of stuff. So let's take a look at the background first of all. So if we just click on basically anywhere on the phone that isn't in one of these fields, we'll get the background, and there's no need to give it an ID or anything. What we'll do is we will go to Style, so this is bottom right corner, and we'll change a background color. So see where it says background, we'll click this one on the far right, and we get to choose a color. So it can be, we can have red color, which is far too bright. We could have like a purple color, we could have a blue. I'm a big fan of the dark blue, so let's leave it at that, or even a nice green. However, I think the blue might be more appropriate. So we'll stick with this color, and within this you can choose a range of colors. You can have a very pale, you can have a very dark. So we'll stick it on the blue 900, and we'll just click over here to come out of it. So now we have the background as that set color. We won't bother with anything else because everything else is how we want it to be. So now let's play around with the individual parts. So here, if we click on any one of these fields, we have the first one here. We could change the text color, although this is a placeholder, or what they call a hint here, so we'd have to change a color through here. So let's go ahead and change a color now. In fact, I kind of like it being white, so we're going to leave it as white, but we can change a highlight, we can change a hint, you can change text color link, all of this stuff. So the only thing that I really want to change is I want to have the text in the middle, and I want the text to be a little bigger. So that stuff, you can change some of it here. So text size, we can make it a little bigger, let's say 20. And as we can see, it got a little bigger up here. Maybe that's still not big enough. Let's send it 25. There we go. And we'll do the tip field afterwards. So text style, we can have normal, bold, or italic. This would be bold. I'm just going to leave it as normal. Now, to have this text appear in the middle here, so center the text, we have to go back to widget, and we'll look for a field called gravity. So where is it? It is here. So we'll go back up to gravity and we'll say center. And that just centers the text nicely there. So let's do the same with our second input field. So we'll start off, we'll go to gravity and we'll center it. And now we'll change the font size. So I believe we had 25 before. We'll go ahead and modify that. Text colors should be fine to stay as they are. Now what about the button? Calculate total cost. I'm not sure I really like that color. So let's first change the background color. So we'll scroll down, background, over here, and let's give this, if we had some kind of a gray color. Let's see how that looks. That's not bad. Let's give it a slightly different color though. So instead of that one, we'll have maybe, let's have this one. See how that looks. That doesn't look bad. I think we'll keep it. So now let's modify the text size first of all, because that's far too tiny. Let's give it text size 30. Maybe that's a little too big. We'll have it back down to 25. And don't worry about this DP that appears here. That is put in automatically. Okay, that's good. We'll have this one bolded. Calculate the total cost. Very good. I think we'll leave it as white text for now. And now the final cost text. We definitely need to increase the size of that. So let's give it 30. In fact, we want this to really stand out, so let's give it 40. And we want to center it, so we'll go back to widget. And remember, it's under gravity. It's a little counterintuitive, but that's just how it is. And remember, because this is just placeholder text, if you want to modify what's here, you'll have to modify the hint. Whereas if you want to modify the actual text, such as the input text, then that's all under the text field rather than the hint field. So now what we can do is, if we really want, we can change the margins up a bit. So you see how these rectangles have appeared here. We can just drag that down, and that just introduces a little bit of spacing between the two. So we'll click on that, and we'll do the same here. So if we click on this again, alternately, you can, if you click on it, you can go to Layout, and you can manually add how much height you want. So it's at 54 right now, which means it's 54 space from the top. So we can change this to 60, and it just changes the height there a little bit. So the calculate cost button, we want to give that a little bit of space. So we'll just raise that a little bit. And the final cost, we'll also give that some space. We'll have that a little further down at the bottom there. Alright. So, this is how to change the appearance of it. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can change text color, style, font, size, anything. You can change a background. You can give it shadows. You can change the margins. There's pretty much unlimited possibilities with this. But now this looks a little better than it did before. So let's save this. I'm just going to hit Command S for save. And again, we'll right click it. We'll say run with. We'll select the Nexus S. And it's building, which means it's compiling, build successful. Up at the top here, it gives us the progress. And here we go, the app's pulled up, and there we go. That's a brand new appearance. So we can enter the cost here. Let's say it's an expensive meal, $543.67. We're feeling generous. We want to give a 20% tip. We'll calculate the total cost, and there we go. In bold, the final cost. And that's pretty much all there is. This has been our tutorials on creating a basic tip calculator. So this will be very useful if you want to go to restaurants and such places such as that. And now you can take this basic knowledge and expand on it and do whatever you want with it. Create other kinds of calculators if you want, which you may find very helpful for other school subjects and such activities. Right, thank you very much. So in this final part of the tutorial, we actually ran the app for the first time and then refined the design based on what we saw. So first we clicked run it and watched it work and how it worked, and then we changed the visuals and made the app look sleeker and better on the eyes by going into the main.axml file and modifying the fields directly. So by now we should be able to change the appearance of any app we create and design apps that are visually appealing, because again, no one wants to use an app that doesn't look very good.